Hi friends, welcome back and Happy New Year. Today this video is going to be jam-packed, showing you all the things that I've been making. Okay, so I'm gonna put some stuff to the side. I just made these recently actually, so these are like just flower embellishments, but the cool thing about these is that I use my die cuts on packaging. Depending on what die cut you're using, you can't see anything. You just see like colors and shapes, and it just adds interest. This was from a popcorn box, and then I even used the barcode portion of it. And then back here, all the way in the back, you can see that's where the ingredients were. Kind of makes like an interesting little ephemera that you can use in your junk journal. Anyway, so we've got that one. This one I made using some playing cards. So you see the playing card in the background, and then I mixed it with some other packaging. I've been making a lot of these tiny little, I'm gonna call them tip-ins, but you know, I don't know. I added some fabric here, so it's in between two pieces of pattern paper. Just sewed it. You could just glue it as well if you don't have a sewing machine. So I've just been printing, you know, quotes that, you know, feel good to me. And how cute would this be to share with a pen pal or to add to your junk journals? You can pin the fabric, or you can just paper clip it, or you can glue it, you can staple it. And then all of these were made using, of course, a bunch of scraps. Perfect scraps project. Fabric scraps, paper scraps. So yeah, I'm obsessed with anything that kind of looks like a Polaroid. So I used, again, scraps that I had, and then this is another printout, but they're super cute. And I feel like they make an adorable add-on to any of your paper projects. I love these because they kind of look like little picture frames, well, to me at least. And all I did was that I had a collage that I did. I made like 4 pages of this one. So this is like, what do they call this? The master board. So it's basically just a sheet of printer paper. And then I just glued on whatever scraps I had left. So again, I had like 4 sheets of this. This is a piece of one of the other sheets. And then I cut them down to create journaling cards, which I will show you after this. But then there were pieces like this that were left, and then I cut those into squares to make these like little picture frame looking things. That I just use some blank cardstock to be in the background, and then take those pieces that I cut out and kind of photo mat them in the middle. I used my heart punch on some magazine paper. This is actually a strawberry image from some junk mail that I had. I think it was like a Costco thing or something. But look how cool it looks. Like it just pops out like it's a little photo frame. So this is just some cute ephemera that you can use again in your junk journals. Oh, and I added like a little bit of gold thread detail just in random places. So I just love that. I love how there's like so many little pieces together. It looks like it was so intricate, but really all I did was stick all of the scraps onto one sheet. But when you cut them into squares or whatever shape you're doing, it just makes it look like you spent time putting all of these tiny little pieces together, but you didn't. I love this black and white heart. And then some of them I left without the hearts because I thought they looked good that way. And then just added like a little bit of a dotted line with my pen and some of that gold thread again. Same thing for this one. And this one I just decided to draw like a random eyeball over there. I was just playing around just to see what it would look like. But I love these. And I've been making loads of journaling cards. I'm in love with making these. Again, because I love repurposing things, creating journaling cards helped me to kind of keep these things that I would like to use artistically or creatively and just have them ready in my stash. So I just made a bunch of these. Naturally, I have to make like a Polaroid version of things because I just love a little Polaroid. And how cool does that look? But plenty of space to journal in the back. And you can journal just like this with the thread if you enjoy texture like I do, or you could then just glue a piece of cardstock or something plain in the back so that you have a clean canvas if you prefer that. Look how fun this one is. Like, I just love it. It's also really fun to like find cool quotes. And I can't remember which celebrity I cut this from, but it was like a celebrity interview, and it was like this was like the highlighted quote, and I just thought that it was like a fun thing to keep, because I think that I would like to use this almost as like a journaling prompt. Read this quote, like, you know, how can I relate to this, and maybe journal about that, because I think we all tend to put ourselves into a pretzel sometimes. So this was like an extension of this gorgeous photo of this gorgeous woman. And I just didn't want to let go of like all of those beautiful colors. So I just backed it, and that's a journaling card. She's a vibe. This is just like a random purse, but it definitely is beautiful to look at and beautiful to have in your journals. So I don't know, I just look at color and interest and things like that, and like if it's something that I could have fun using. Even just random sheep. I mean, I might not be journaling about sheep. I might not be able to relate to that necessarily, but I think it's interesting. It's just like, why do you have sheep in your journal? Because I can, because why not? So yeah, these are just a bunch of magazine clippings that I took out to create these awesome journaling cards. I look forward to using this one, because I feel like I definitely can relate to this image right now, as I've been spending a lot more time this year surrounded by my friends and my community members, and really reminding myself to stay open so that, you know, you can create relationships with people. Look how cool that one is. I love that one. I love how, you know, I cut this one off intentionally, and I just think it looks cool that way. It makes you question, you know, what else is at the top. This one looks beautiful. This one I made it so that the journaling can be on the side, which I think is cool that way too. Just a teddy bear with a tiara, why not? Look at these boats. Love. Okay, so now I have these journaling spots that were mostly created using index cards. So this one is just like a page from an old book that I'm repurposing right now, and have an index on the back. It also actually has a pocket that I just realized. I made so many of these things that I don't even remember the features that I added. This is an index card that just has like an embossed book page. It's also like a somewhat blank canvas that you can still add ephemera, a picture, a quote, layer some more different textured or colored pages on top to just make it look interesting to you. Then I have this kind of stack of papers, which can be torn out and used in other junk journal pages, or it can be used almost as a booklet. There's plenty of journaling space in the back. You can add some journaling in some of these spots. Also, the back of a lot of these are plain, that gives you room for more journaling. And all I did was just sew a piece of a paper bag here, and then only sewed this one area so that it makes it like a little bit of a booklet that you can tear out from safely. This one, I sewed a little, like a 1-inch scrap that I just folded in half. So you have on this side and on this side, and it allows for this to also be a tuck spot with your index journaling card here. And then you've got like this nice book page that's repurposed, and this is another tuck spot option. This one is just a stack of different kinds of papers. We've got like a piece of embossed scrap, a scrap piece of book page, a scrap piece of paper bag, and another embossed, I think this is just pattern paper. It's just white, or maybe it's cardstock, I don't know. And then we have this one that's kind of similar to this guy. It's like a little booklet that you can tear things out of, or just journal almost as a notebook. If you have a big story to tell, then you have plenty of pages here to do that. It also is a top loading pocket with some journaling space in the back. And we've got this one, which is just a stack of things. Again, I just sewed a little bit on the side, so it allows you the option of just tearing these out to use somewhere else. But it also makes it so that you can have a tuck spot here and a tuck spot back here. And there's plenty of journaling space everywhere. And I also embossed that. And then this one, I think, is just an index card with some layered scraps and this little quote from an old book page. Okay, next I created these Polaroid journaling cards. and I pretty much find every possible way that I can make something into a Polaroid. So these are made with paper bag scraps and some fabric. So I just sewed on the fabric with some gold thread, and I guess the bottom neon, but you know, whatever. I don't care if my threads match top and bottom. I think it all just adds interest. And then these are like Dollar Tree pearls, I think. And I printed all of these sentiments or words from Pinterest. I just love, you know, the different textures here. We've got the paper, we've got the fabric, we've got the pearls. All of it just feels really nice. And you also have like this fun little sound, if that's something that you enjoy like I do. And the top row, and I think these two on the side, these are sort of journaling prompts. So this one says, talk about your siblings. This one is someone who inspires you, moments spent together. What do you feel when you write? Your favorite movie, write about happiness, someone I miss. I think it's really fun. Sometimes you want to engage with your junk journal, but you don't know exactly what to do. And sometimes you want to engage with your pen pal, but you don't know exactly what to talk about. And so a prompt is a really great conversation starter, whether it be with yourself and you're being more introspective, or whether it be that you're engaging with your pen pal. It's always a good idea to cut your scraps into uniform sizes so that they're ready for whenever you have a project. So I did a bunch of these that have, as I said, like the affirmations or the journaling prompts, but then I also made some plain ones because sometimes you just need a little plain background. These are made with fabric that I got, I think from Tuesday Morning, maybe. And I had never actually purchased any fabric, so I got this, and I also got a bunch of like fabric swatches, and this is where that one came from. And so how cute do the little fabric pieces look with like a little Polaroid setup? I can't speak today, sorry. Okay, next. I don't know, this is not like super exciting, but I'll share it anyway. I basically just made a bunch of manila index cards. I don't know about you, but I really love manila index cards, but I never buy them. But I did have a bunch of manila folders that I got from Dollar Tree, and so I just cut them down and made my own manila index cards using my own hole protectors. What do you call those things? I don't know what you call, I think they're called hole protectors, but anyway, I have a die for this one. So I use my scraps to create the die cuts and use that for all of my DIY manila index. And then I just have this, whatever the heck kind of string this is called. And so I had a bunch of that, and now I have my own, and look how cool, like the little gold one. So it's like manila tags, but like, I don't know, I feel like it's got an upgrade, because find you a manila tag that has a gold hole protector. Good luck, I'll wait. Next, I've got these journaling spots that I created using Project Life cards. I don't know, maybe you're like me, maybe you're not, maybe you've got a handle of this, but I have a ton of Project Life cards, but we really need to, in 2023, friends, join me. We really need to use our stuff. I printed a focal point, cut them out, layered it to my Project Life cards, and in some of them I added some lace, book page. Some of them I put the gold like really big, some of them the gold is smaller, and I just love these. These are so great to share with pen pals or to add to junk journals. They're just fun to touch, and but they're also like fun to look at and just add interest to things. I love how all of them, they definitely look like a collection, but they all look very different. This one didn't even get a gold treatment, or this one. So yeah, that's what I did with these. There's plenty of space for you to journal. And again, if the sewing texture bothers you, you could always just stick another clean page in the back. I also created some bigger quote cards. I think I only have 3 of these, but it's got like, this is just like some cardstock that I had, and then fabric, and then the quote, and then I just sewed it. So it's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. So in the same vein of trying to figure out how can I make use of my project life cards, the ones that I didn't necessarily love, I just sewed some fabric onto it and then just kind of gave the project life card a new look. So now I can still use it and it gives some interest with the texture. You can still layer some things on top of it if you use like fabric glue or whatever, Fabrifix. And then for these, I decided to add a little tab to it just because I love that. I think it's super fun. So I don't know why the pen pal and the junk journaling community has this, I'm gonna call it like obsession with tags. Why do we make a tag? Like who started that? Like who decided like, oh, tags are gonna be the thing that are always a part of it. Like for pen paling, it's like the mail tag, but also so many features are like in the shape of tags. I would really love for someone to tell me like, where did that trend get started? Because it's alive and kicking, and anytime you see people sharing their ideas, I want to say almost every time there's a tag somewhere involved. But in any case, I wanted to, again, so this came from a similar stack to those bookmark scraps that I just showed you, and they were all in this size. And so I wanted to create tags with them, but I didn't want to like punch the hole and put the ribbon and do all the things. I wanted to continue to use this fabric. So all I did was just cut down some fabric scraps and just use my tiny attacher to staple it. And that's literally it, the simplest tag possible. But like if you had a pocket and then this like fabric was peeking out, like it would add like some really cool interest. All right, so I have a pile of stuff here, not sure what this is. I was trying to create those specimen cards that you see a lot, but I wasn't like too keen on doing it with like a flower or what you typically see a specimen card with. This is something that I'm still playing around with, and comment down below if you have any ideas to kind of, what am I missing here? Because I thought like, wouldn't it be fun to have a specimen card, but like with a random thing? So in this case, it's a pair of shoes. No one would make a specimen card with a pair of shoes, but like, why not? Like, it's just, we're just having fun. So I feel like, what are the randomest things that we can put in a specimen card? Maybe it's a washi tape sample in a specimen card. Maybe it's just like gold thread. I don't know, just like these features, these random things that we use in pen paling and junk journaling. Wouldn't they make like interesting specimen cards, like an ephemera specimen card? I don't know. So that's kind of like where I was headed with this. But I'm still kind of like figuring it out, but I still think that this one is cool. I just don't know is this finished? Is it missing something? I'm not sure, but this is where I was going. I was trying to do a specimen card. In that, trying to figure that out, I was like, I don't know, like, what if we just had a bunch of scraps in a specimen card? So I made these few that just basically have like bits and pieces of randomness, and it could be something that just lives in your junk journal for no good reason other than because you can, or maybe it's functional. Maybe it's like, you know, tear open in case of emergency. Like if you're desperately in need of something that you see in here, like, you know, cut into this and like use the scraps. I also have this in my mind that I think it is just like, why not make the things that we would normally discard? Why not make them functional in some way or other? So I don't know. I just think it's all in here. It's not going into, you know, the garbage. And I don't know. So yeah, again, comment below. Let me know what you think about this. It's just a thought that's in my mind. I don't know that I've like fully figured this out. So definitely open to all of your feedback. But again, just a window full of scraps. And this has got like scraps from like hole punching. I don't know. I feel like this in and of itself, like, isn't it telling a story? Is this too serious? I don't know. Anyway, so we have, I have various of them. I just feel like this is a crafter's desk. And then with this one, I just put like a focal point in there. I was just trying to figure it out. So we've got scraps and a focal point. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but I just think it's interesting. Like, I don't know, just playing around with different ideas of what is interesting and what is garbage. These are just, you know, just a window with like some punches. And again, so this is me trying to figure it out. I think this was the first one that I made where I thought maybe if I were going to go the flower route, maybe I just go with flower ephemera or printables instead of like an actual real flower. So anyway, those are those, my little not so specimen, but specimen cards. What do we have here? Some more Polaroid. I hope you're not getting tired of my Polaroid ideas. Please comment if you love Polaroids as much as I do so that I can feel like I'm in good company. So yeah, I just cut the large index cards in half and just put them in the middle as a Polaroid, and I just think it looks so cute. What a cute journaling spot, am I right? So that's those. What's this? Just magazine pictures again. I probably should have put that along with the other one that I showed you, but alas, I didn't really get organized. It's like I just saw my husband leaving and I was like, I gotta film now. So how cool are these gold pins? Just fun little backgrounds. I love that. And I just added like some gold here. Polaroid, no one is shocked. This one is kind of like another one of those notebook-like things where just everything is stapled to the index card. Same here. This one I made into like an envelope. So I took a piece of patterned paper and then layered the index card on top, and then it's actually a functioning envelope. So I made a couple of those, which I love, when it's like you have an envelope that is actually a journaling spot. Then we've got, I layered two. This is another way that I was trying to kind of make the most of my Project Life cards and finally just use them. So some of them I would like one side, but I wouldn't like the other side of it. Does that ever happen to you where you get a Project Life card and you like one side, but the other one is like meh? So I just put them together to create like the better version. And then I added some ribbon in between to just have that pull factor. So if you want to have a pocket, you just have like this nice little ribbon pull. And some of them I added a little bit of ephemera, others I did not. Fun fact about me, I really love an altered paperclip. It's my jam. I don't know why, but it is. All I did was put two Project Life cards together, and then I did a little piece of scrap paper, but I sewed it in between the two Project Life cards, which then allows this to kind of be like a little movable feature, which I think is really fun. So you've got plenty of journaling space, and this is a Project Life card that can move from page to page. It could be a bookmark, it could be a tip-in. You can use it as like some sort of like legend for a spread that you might need to repeat from month to month, but you don't want to write it over and over again. It could be where you keep your key if you're a bullet journaler, and your key can move with you for every monthly setup. But this is like a mini junk journal that I created using like a sandwich bag. And I just love, like, look at this. Like, tell me I'm the only one that finds this fun. The fact that this is like, it's still like a moving feature, and you can just lift it up or down. You can stick it onto another piece of ephemera, or you could just, you know, have it be in a pocket. I mean, it's your life. You do as you wish. I think this one works really well here, so maybe let's let it live there. Okay, so these are kind of like some, they could be journal companions for junk journals. You could tuck it into a pocket like this, and it would just be like a little companion. Or they could also be companions for your pen pal mail. Personally, I like to find interesting ways to include the letter into my pen pal mail, but one of my favorite ways to send a letter is to actually create like a little booklet for it, and it kind of feels like you're writing a little book, like a little story for your pen pal. So this one I did with some paper bag scraps, a little bit of cardstock just to make this a little bit stronger, and then I sewed on some fabric. This fabric I got from Dollar Tree, and it's, you know, it's really loud and vibrant. Some might say noisy, but some of us might also say fun. So I have those, and then I have this one. This is like a drawer liner that I found at Dollar Tree, and I got it because I just wanted to see if there was anything that I could use it for in whatever projects. And it feels really nice, and it's like really flexible, obviously. And then I just sewed some paper bag scraps in there. That's a fun one. And then these I just used some scrap papers and some paper bags. I sewed it down the middle. You could equally use a long arm stapler or a regular stapler if you have one that can be open so it can lay flat. Or you can hand bind it. There's loads of videos on how to do hand binding. It's really simple. If you can sew a basic stitch, then you can hand bind a journal, trust me. This one I kind of made almost like a mini junk journal. So it's just a bunch of scrap papers, and I sewed it, and then paper clip just has a little ribbon on it. Same here, it's like a mini, it's just a cute little thing that like you could either add as a companion to your journal, send it to your pen pals, use it to write your letter, or use it to share ephemera. The options are endless. Here are some more examples of companions. These were made from pages that I got from my kids' notebooks. At the end of the school year, the teachers send the notebooks back home, and there's always at least 20 or 30 pages left over in the notebooks, and I just open the notebooks, like I cut the thread so that I can take those spare pages out, and I kind of just keep a stash of all of these notebook pages to be used. Sometimes I bind them together and make smaller notebooks for my daughter to draw in, but yeah, I try to keep as much of the paper as possible. There have been times where only like 10 pages of a notebook have been used, and I'm definitely not going to just recycle that. So in any case, these are some of the scraps from projects that I made. So I just stacked them up by size and just stapled a piece of scrap paper, or sewed in this case, a piece of scrap paper on top that turns that into like a little notebook that you can add to any of your junk journals, or just keep it on your desk as scrap paper in lieu of a Post-it. These, I just used a cover. I created a cover by using a piece of scrap paper and almost started to create like a book plate, sort of very simple, just a piece of paper bag that's there. But again, you can see that it's coming from like scraps from a notebook. This one was sewn, and it just looks really nice. You can keep that in your purse if you needed to take some notes. This is kind of like the altered paper clip married with the scraps notebook idea. I wanted to play around with textures, so I crumbled some paper to use in my junk journal, and because my junk journal is a particular size, I had to kind of cut off the bottom. So all of the bottom pieces that I cut off, I just set them to the side, and eventually came up with this idea of just stapling them together with a piece of scrap paper and then adding a paper clip to it, so that you can paper clip this little notepad into your junk journal. I know that I don't necessarily have to show you this, but it's fun to show you. So, but for example, you just would be able to add like an additional journaling spot to your junk journal or anywhere. So I love these. I love also like the crinkly sound of them. I think that they can definitely be used one way or another. I will show you some more pages of this. Do I have more? Yes, I do. I was playing around with kind of making my own papers. And I know a lot of people do like coffee dyed or tea dyed paper, and it's a process that I'm interested in exploring. I just haven't had the chance, but I wanted to play around with dyeing paper, but using watercolor instead. So just by plopping color, no rhyme or reason, I just threw color onto paper, and I just wanted to see what that would look like. Mainly what I wanted to achieve was this sound. I just love that sound. And it definitely can be achieved by just using watercolor if you're not really into the whole process that is involved in coffee or tea dyeing. I used regular loose leaf paper and watercolor. You can do it just one color, you can do various colors, and you'll get like that cool crinkly effect. Okay, we're at the end, and I saved the best for last. This one is my favorite. And these are also going to be done with index cards, but it's just like your basic size index card. And this is what I used that masterboard for, the one that I showed you at the beginning of the video. As I said, I had 4 pages or 4 masterboards, and from those 4 masterboards came these, in my opinion, awesome journaling cards that I'm really looking forward to using. Not that one, that's from an older video, and sharing. So that's what ended up coming from there. And some of them I tried to play around with like gold foil. I still have to practice. I need to watch some videos and see like the best practices for using like loose gold leaf. That's what it was. And I just made a big mess, and I don't think I accomplished what I necessarily wanted to accomplish. But what I did here is, after I created my masterboard, my masterboard, this is, I cut it down to the size of the index card, and then went ahead and used a stencil with some turquoise paint. So you see that, and that kind of marries all of them together and makes it look like a collection. I think there's a lot of features that make it look like a collection. Obviously the words, the sewing, all of it like kind of makes it look like a cohesive group, even though they're all totally different from each other. Like none of them are alike. But so I used a stencil with some acrylic. I used the sewing. I used some washi tape. So this is like a washi tape. This is washi tape. This is washi tape. And of course I used the fabric on top. There's just lots of interest here. I really love these. Here's another one. They were so fun to make, and I expect that I'm going to be making loads of them and using them in future junk journals. So I think that is it for today. I hope that you got a bunch of ideas from this video. Please don't hesitate to comment. I would really love to know like what was your favorite thing that I shared. If you have any ideas that I can add on to some of the things that I shared, always let me know. I always like to hear other people's ideas and what you might be doing. Until the next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, I hope that you'll consider doing so. Don't forget to like this video and share it with anyone else that loves all things paper. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I'm gonna try and get through all of this before he gets back and has to do like a meeting or something, where I get paranoid and I don't want to talk too much while he's having a meeting. And I'm over here talking about like crafty fun stuff, and he's like doing actual work that pays.